It disrupts your hormones.
And from the container, you're absorbing some of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that. So my goal is to try to cut out the synthetic chemicals, the pesticides, go with non-GMO, organic foods, try to be aware of, my phone usage, have do not disturb times at night. There's actually a really nice feature with the iPhone where it doesn't send me anything, it has a do not disturb while driving, and so I have that feature turned on so it doesn't send me any notifications while I'm driving, which is really nice. So there's a lot of stuff that actually can help, just kind of have to know about these things.
So are you vegan or what's your diet plan?
Yeah, I've been vegan since 2014.
2014. Is there any type of meat that you can eat that's probably the healthiest that you would say, or is it just like fish or?
I guess.
Or like I guess how would vegans get protein? Because I don't know how it works.
Yeah, that is a very common question. I actually have a meme post up on that because that's one of the first things that people say is like, how do you get your protein? The first thing I always ask is like, what is the largest mammal on land? It's the largest mammal.
Well, the cows and the
Elephant.
but
There you go, elephant.
the other.
Did the elephant get there by drinking whey protein shakes and hitting the gym? CrossFit. How they get there? Because they start pretty small. I mean, the babies are still probably like a couple 100 pounds, but in order to get, yeah, they eat grass and bushes. And so how the heck did something get from that little 200-pound elephant to, I guess, I don't know if it's like over 2 tons, right? But they have to eat something.
They are really big.
They're not just going to get there magically with time, right? And genes. So they have to eat something to help them get there.
Tigers, they're not eating whatever.
They're not eating. So how it works is there's amino acids in all types of plants, and amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and protein is the building blocks for your cells, and cells are the building blocks for organs and systems and skeletal systems and everything like that. And so when you're able to get the very fundamental building blocks from plants, for example, sweet potato is 7% protein per calorie.
A lot compared to the other.
And spinach is 49% protein per calorie.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's so low in calories, you don't get a lot of
I
protein.
just learned that kale has more protein than spinach, no?
Oh, they're roughly about the same. They're like,
Yeah?
it just kind of depends.
Or it has more vitamin C or something like that.
Protein is very similar. It's like 47 or 45 to like 49%
No,
protein
the
per
kale
calorie.
between
You
the
say
spinach.
spinach and kale?
Yeah, versus
Protein percent?
No, well, not just that protein, but also like vitamin C, like, because I got sick and they're like, you do know kale has more vitamin C and kiwi has more vitamin C than oranges, and I'm like,
They
wow.
could. I just have to look up the numbers
Yeah,
to
so-
verify. But yeah, there's a lot of shocking stuff. And then what's really interesting about meat is like beef is the highest protein per calorie amongst chicken and eggs and fish and other things. And so it's roughly 25% protein per calorie, beef. So if 25% protein per calorie is protein, what do you think the other 75% is?
It's fat.
Fat. It's 75% fat because there's no carbs in it, so it's fat. So you're eating textured fat that's been cooked or char grilled. And then here's the other interesting thing. When you cook it, that 25%, up to half of that 25% is lost with heat.
It's lost, yeah.
And so you're getting roughly 12.5%, worst case scenario, 25% best case scenario with beef, and that is the highest protein percent. And so what we're doing is you're actually introducing dead material into your body, and your body, you are what you eat. And actually, there's a vibrational frequency scale. If you go back to chemistry class and you look at atoms and moleccules,
That's what I ate now.
I mean, the goal isn't guilt. The goal isn't guilt. The goal is empowerment, right? So this is the type of education that I try to provide is let people, because they don't know. I didn't know until somebody broke it down. They're like, wow, I didn't know that meat has 0 to 2 megahertz of vibrational frequency, and then when I eat this dead material, my body has to spend energy to get no energy. And so I'm actually losing energy.
That's why you feel tired.
That's what, okay, that makes
That's
sense.
why you feel tired.
But
So when I say vibrational frequency, you have these this nuclear structure on an atomic level. This table looks like it's standing still, but it's made of these microscopic little atoms that are all, electrons going around each other like that. And the higher the frequency, the more energy that they're going to have. And so the highest vibrational frequency is things like spirulina and green juices at 250 megahertz per 250 megahertz of energy, and then a healthy human being is 62 to 68 megahertz of energy. And so when I eat processed foods, which have zero energy, literally 0 megahertz of energy, processed foods, canned foods, stuff like that, and then I eat meat, which has 0 to 2 megahertz of energy, I'm literally lowering my vibrational frequency, and I'm becoming of what it is. I'm eating dead, I'm becoming more dead. That's what I mean. And I haven't even got on the saturated fat, cholesterol, acidity, parasites. I'm not even talking about all that comes with meat. Don't even get me started on that. That's a whole nother conversation. We're just talking about vibrational frequency and energy and protein percent.
Staying
Yeah.
on that topic, vibrational frequency and energy. So to higher your frequency levels by eating the spirulina, that'll do it?
Yeah, it can raise your vibrational frequency. Like when you scoop some, it tastes like ocean water, so I really don't recommend like doing it unless it's like something that's going to really help you do that. But yeah, it's like jumping off the spoon almost, like when you scoop it. So
I was gonna say, someone told me that we eat beef supposedly so we can get the protein that we're supposed to need.
Right.
But what do we feed beef? It's grain, isn't it?
yeah, which is very acidic and causes high levels.
So that's
of
not as good either.
What's that? Grain? Corn is not usually good in general.
Wheat?
Wheat's not good for you either.
Rice.
Depends where
It
it's
has
sourced.
to be good, man. It has to be good.
If it's sourced from China, there could be some heavy metal toxicity in there.
So China got all those fake stuff going on there. Don't buy it in China, but regular rice, man.
My rice replacement is actually I soak millet, which is alkaline food, high source of protein and fiber. It has the consistency of rice, but more protein and fiber. And then I soak lentils with it as well. So I soak that so that when I cook it, it becomes fluffy. And when I eat it, it has
It's
more
like
protein and
rice.
fiber. It's filling. Consistency of rice, but more protein and fiber, so it's filling. And so that way I'm getting the amino acids to help me build, proteins and stuff like
Lentils
that.
is a good food.
Yeah. Millet and lentils, you can get them in the bulk bins.
What about
at
quinoa?
restaurants. Quinoa is another one, so I would probably soak it so that it gets in there.
Like soak it overnight or just like?
Probably at least 4 to 8 hours, I would soak it.
Okay, so overnight.
And
Do
then,
you
yeah,
have a
so that
meal
replaced
plan?
white rice and brown rice for me.
Do you have meal plans? And if you have,
I
do you
do.
have a website, like all,
I
you have
do,
a post
yeah.
meal plans?
Yes, specifically for moms, through naturalsolutionsformoms.com, but I can work out specific stuff
Oh, wow.
depending on what your level of interest and commitment is. That's the short answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, if you just want something basic, I do have that on Instagram. If you want something more advanced, like more coaching and stuff, then that's more of a conversation. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What is it?
But in the meantime, what I do recommend is if you have Netflix, the first documentary I would watch is What the Health.
I think I
Nice.
started.
If you have not watched that one, please go watch that.
What's the hell?
What
the hell?
the Health.
Somebody told me on that again, on that water, because
If you have
Conversation with
Netflix,
chemist.
I highly recommend it.
and she said to watch for that because she's talking about water. Water that purified like that, it's not good.
It's
It
not
just
good.
goes down.
You
There.
need alkaline.
Well,
It needs some mineral, really.
Yeah,
in it.
it's
mineral
a-
water, then it will go into our body.
There's a lot of problems
I don't
with
even know that.
bottled water. Yeah, it's acidic. It's reverse osmosis typically, so all of the trace minerals have been removed. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
bottled water is not good for you. What you
Yeah,
want
got to get
ideally.
mineral, it
Ideally, you
got
want to reverse osmosis water from your faucet, and you squirt some fulvic acid or organic trace minerals in there to replenish what was natural in there. Or you have alkaline water, but
Yeah.
it'll probably still be missing some trace minerals, so, I mean, but
Mineral water is not?
it depends if it's in a
Mineral water
bottle.
is good.
And then there's
Not the
BPA
purified
leaching.
or
There's
distilled,
BPA
because
leaching.
it will not
Yeah.
just gonna
Plastics
go
as well.
into our system.
So BPA is a hormone disruptor. It disrupts your hormones.
And from the container, you're absorbing some of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so when I worked at PepsiCo, we had a mini natural disaster where we had a whole shipment of Aquafina that was supposed to go out. But for whatever reason, it was like hot, it was summer, midsummer, really hot. It couldn't go out, we're just having troubles. And that water sat on that truck for like a week or so. Normally a few days is not that bad, but it ended up sitting there for like a week and a half, or I think 2 weeks or something. And in the dead hot summer, and after that they're like, we have to destroy all the bottles, and that was like $60,000 worth of water, and they had to destroy it because of the level of chemical leaching from the plastic bottles
Because of the heat.
because of the heat. destroying and breaking down the plastic that holds that water together and leaching into the water. Yeah, so they had to say,
Made it almost
we're not,
toxic, yeah.
yeah, it's toxic, yeah. And then there's, micro leaching the moment it, is created and you're drinking it, but to have that much level of heat and time is just, it's
So
toxic.
glass bottles are better than.
Glass, stainless steel, or ceramic would be ideal. Ceramic would be like coffee mug type thing.
But plastic is cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap, that's why.
That's what we use here in the US. Everything is glass.
They do sell Voss though, the glass Voss.
The boss, yeah, it's expensive. I can afford those
Yeah,
things,
but it's better.
I have a reverse osmosis
Yeah,
set up
they-
in my house, and I just put trace minerals. I have through the supplement, one of the supplement companies that I partner with, so it works out good. So I'm able to
Afford
get,
that smart water.
What is the name of that? Because I remember having like a water filter from a company that they did like a test where they dabbed like something in it and the water turned a certain color with the acidic.
there's a Kangen water machine, which is like $1,500 to $2,000, which alkalizes the water, and does some other stuff to it too, which is pretty cool. But yeah,
What about that water that has electrolytes in it?
it depends what else is in it and what's the bottle made of.
There's plastic too.
Yeah.